Hello and welcome back to Simply Pilates. I'm Stephanie and I'm going to take you through a workout. We're going to be going into a quadruped position. So our muscle groups we're focusing on, as always, is going to be our core. We're going to be lengthening through our vertebrae and we're going to be working our legs and our hips. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Coming into a quadruped position, that means all fours. Our wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in alignment directly underneath our shoulders. Our knees are about hip distance apart directly underneath our knees. Finding this position, I want you to stay lifted through the belly. So I want you to avoid sinking through the stomach, tailbone going to sky. And I want you to find yourself into a semi-neutral spine. Hands, lots of pressure through the hands, engaging those chest muscles. Length through the crown of the head. Tucking those toes, we're going to go into a hover. We're going to lift our knees up off of the mat just an inch or two. Keeping head nice and long, so there's no tuck of the chin and there's no extension of the chin. We're not lifting chin to sky. Gently lower your knees back down, release. Going back in again, pressing through those hands, lifting through those knees. Inhale. Exhale, lower back down. Again, we're pulling navel to spine on that lift. We inhale to lift. We're going to hold here. We're going to add on. We're going to step back with the right leg, step back with the left leg. We go into a solid plank. Take an inhale. Walking right leg in, left leg in. We come back to that starting position. Now we start with the other leg. Take an inhale. We step out left, step out right. Hold your plank for a moment. Step in left, step in right. Now we're going to keep going alternating sides. We go right, left, right, left. Now starting left, left, right, left, right. Keep going. Crown of the head's pulling long, chest muscles engaged. Navel stays pulling the spine. Pelvis is slightly tucked just to keep any arch out of the back. We're going to start with this left side. This is our last one here. Hold for 3, 2, 1. We're going to lower down our knees. We're going to press back into a child's pose. We're going to feel the release in our back and in our shoulders. If our wrists feel any strain, you could take your hands, clasp them together, and just draw yourself a figure 8. Lots of mobility there, releasing your wrist of any tension. So we're going to come down again. This time we're coming into a quadruped position, but we're going to lower our left arm down onto the mat. So forearm comes down, fingertips are right next to where your right hand is. Right hand's going to have a slight bend. You're going to take your right leg out long. Now I want you to externally rotate that hip. So you're going to tip your hips out towards the direction that you're facing. Nice length in leg. We lift and we lower. Tapping down. Lift and lower. So you need to make sure that you're keeping your abdominals engaged here. There's no movement at the upper body. You could stay looking down at the mat so there's no tension in the neck. Your left leg is stabilizing you, keeping you from moving around too much. Right leg, glute, outer leg, working here. 3, 2, and 1. We leave our leg up. Now we draw our heel. Flexed foot goes towards bum, and we lengthen out long through the front of the leg, pointed toe. So we flex, pull in, and we lengthen out. During this move, I can feel my abdominals wanting to release as I change my position with that leg. So I'm just coaxing it back in, just reminding it that it needs to stay engaged. I'm staying lifted through the chest. Lots of pressure here through the chest. 3 and 2 and 1. Lengthen the leg. I'm going to straighten out my arm and I'm going to push myself up into my quadruped, making sure everything's in alignment. I'm going to flex my foot, drawing knee down to the other knee. Foot stays flexed. I draw my foot up to the sky, keeping that neutral back. So I don't want to, again, drop my abdominals, creating a big arch in my back. I want to keep those abdominals in while I lift and lower. Breath stays consistent. Inhale, exhale, through the mouth. Two more, and then we stay up. So here I want you to stay up in pulse for 8, 7, 6. Remembering keeping the chest activated by pressing those hands. Crown of the head still pulling long. 2, 1. And now I lengthen my leg, pointing my toe. I go into a rainbow. So leg comes to the outside. I arc the leg up and around, keeping my hips squared, both hip points facing down towards the mat as I rainbow back. I go again. So I'm trying to stabilize at the pelvis, keeping that pelvis from wiggling around too much. If I need to lower my range of motion, I'm welcome to lower the range of motion just right here. Keeping that arc small, stabilizing legs, getting a lot of work while core is having to keep me all in line, balanced, and strong. 2 more. Last one. As I arc back open, I'm going to come all the way to the side. You're really going to feel this one, guys. So taking that leg, we lift for 8 and lower down with control. And 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, yikes, 1. Bring that knee back in. I'm going to sit back into child's pose first through the center to release. Whew. And then I'm going to lean over to the side that I had as my stabilizing leg because that glute really took a beating there. In a good way, of course. All right, coming back to center. We're going to come up again. Now we're going to drop down to our right forearm, fingertips pressing in the direction of my left hand. Left hand has a slight bend in it. I lengthen my left leg. I externally rotate, excuse my back. I'm going to externally rotate here, and I'm going to lift and lower down. Lift and lower. So I want to keep feeling lots of length pulling through those toes. As I lengthen through the spine, crown of the head still pulling long. And again, I'm looking down at the mat if I must. Probably the best route to go to keep any tension out of the neck. And you're trying to keep that left shoulder out of your ear. 3, and 2. We have 1 more here. Lift and lower. Very good. So I'm going to lift the leg. I'm staying externally rotated. I flex the foot, driving heel to bum, and then I lengthen out long, staying in this position. Trying to minimize any movement here. So staying in your breath, keeping abs engaged, pressing that elbow and hand into the mat, making sure upper body is part of that stability process. Inhale, exhale, again, flex and point. 2 more. Flex, point, flex, and point. I'm going to rotate my hand around first, and then I press myself up. Leg goes long. Now I flex my foot, driving knee down to mat. I drive knee up and down. Again, my hips are squared right now. Crown of the head is still pulling long, keeping lots of length in that spine. Hands are pressing away, keeping chest engaged. Neutral spine throughout here. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Coming back up and we pulse for 8, 7, 6. So imagine the knee is now pulling away, long from your body, pulling out from that hip. 2, 1, and I lengthen leg. I move out to the side before I go into my rainbows. And I lift and I rotate over. Again, keeping those hips still. Little movements only happening from that leg as I arch and arc from one side to the other. My right leg having to work, keeping myself centered. No motion here, only happening from that leg as I lengthen away from the body. I stay looking down at the mat the whole time. Again, being aware of your chin placement. You're not squishing your chin in with tension or lifting your neck up, adding that extra strain. Keeping that head long. 2. 1 more. I arch. Now I come back to the side and we do our lift and lowers. When you're ready, here's the last of it. We go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I draw the knee in. I sit back into my hips. Oh yes, center first. Whoo, taking a breath. And then I lean in to that right hip, that stabilizing leg that hasn't been moving. I sit back into that hip to feel the release. Coming back to center. And I'm going to slowly roll up, pulling in, stacking the spine. Last thing to come up is my head. I'm going to take a breath here. And exhale. And you're done. Well done. Congratulations. You did it. Enjoy the rest of your day, or if this was the start of your day, make it a great one. We'll see you next time.